Okay, it's not over yet. We are still getting new information about Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, such as this right here, coming from the official Pokemon press site, that it does have Nintendo Switch listed as a to-be-announced console for the Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon listing. Now, this came out immediately after the trailer and the Pokemon Direct and all that fun stuff. However, it seems like it was an error. So we had Sarah be updating. Pokemon Company International press site lists Pokemon Ultra Sun with TBA for Switch. However, they have clarified this was a clerical error on the press site. Now, does that mean they screwed up? Or does that mean Nintendo Switch is not coming to... or Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon is not coming to Nintendo Switch? I could actually see a case for both, because 3DS, they're already doing a lot of support for Pokken on the Switch. Maybe they want to give it a bit more time before they go mad major console game. And that's always the dream. Every generation, every console, we're waiting for that big, like, multi-region or expansive Pokemon game, and we just never get it. Is it the time for the Switch, or has the Pokemon Company decided that they do not want to take the game into that next level? Or maybe they just screwed up, because Monster Hunter Double Cross did the same thing. They had 3DS, and then they recently announced compatibility with the Nintendo Switch, and that opened up a ton of potential for Pokemon Sun and Moon having some kind of compatibility with the sequel games that we're going to be getting, maybe 3DS and Switch, so they could either be covering this and be like, oh yeah, by the way, here's the official statement, Nintendo Switch, or... which would kind of be too unprofessional, though, so maybe it was just a simple error. It seems like we'll find out, but the Nintendo Switch release would probably be much later than the 3DS release, mostly because, like, selling copies and then updating the game and anything like that. Also, we saw that with Double Cross, that it was a much later announcement, so that's kind of what we're dealing with. Also, whenever we're dealing with Pokemon information and press releases, there's going to be artifacts of information somewhere. That we kind of just saw that with, like, the Pokemon press release and everything. But also, look at this. This dates back to November 17th. So we have Pokemon Sun and Moon launch from November 2016. And it has this from Michael, the guy that pretty much, like, data mined and blew open all of Pokemon Sun and Moon. Him and his team, of course. Like, there's more people than just him, but he was doing a lot of tweeting. He's publishing a lot of the information. Gotta wonder what it means. Lycanroc Form ID 4 has a placeholder image on the Pokemon Global Link. And this is a placeholder, and we see that all over the place. There was a placeholder in the 6th generation for features we saw in the 7th generation. This is game development, that they have to think years, potentially like a year. I don't know, like, the exact development process for a Pokemon game, but they have to think quite a bit ahead. That's why we saw 1,000 Waves, 1,000 Arrows in the 6th generation, and it didn't get any usage on Zygarde until the 7th generation. So I believe there was also, like, battle animations and everything like that was even in Pokemon for the 6th generation. So, and I think the same happened for Black and White, same happened in X and Y. So maybe this happened on the Pokemon Global Link, that they just had the placeholder getting ready for whatever is going to happen with Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. And it makes a lot of sense. Also, I don't know the context here. Is there, like, is ID 1 and 2, is that Lycanroc Midday and Midnight form? They skipped 3 and accidentally put a placeholder for 4. Is the placeholder for 3 something else? Because initially, when people saw this, they thought Totem Pokemon, but then the game came out, it was already data mined, people were already playing pirated copies of it. So by then, like, yeah, we knew that there wasn't a Totem, so there was no reason to have an alternate form or any kind of other placeholder image or anything hiding like that in the data mine. So because of that, we can just see, yeah, maybe this actually has something to do with it, that we get Lycanroc Ultra forms. That would be awesome, and it would make the most sense, because the Pokemon Company, they're trying to put out a lot of information for Lycanroc. Actually, I want to see what's going on the Pokemon... Whoa, I just clicked on something random right there. I want to see what's going on with the Pokemon Twitter account, because the Pokemon Twitter account, they have the Lycanroc Midnight form, and they did the Lycanroc Midnight distribution for Rising Guardians. So because of that, you know, they have a lot of love for Lycanroc. Unfortunately, it's just not that strong of a competitive Pokemon. What way of making it competitive while also promoting your game? Because, yeah, Rockruff is, like, one of the most adorable and loved Pokemon. The Midnight form and Midday form have, like, a really awesome following as well. So the best way of kind of getting that out there would be like, yo, let's do Ultra forms, because it ties into Pokemon Sun and Moon. And we already know Solgaleo and Lunala, they have alternate forms that tie in with Necrozma and stuff. But maybe that's it, because these are form changes. We've seen this in many sequel versions and remakes of Pokemon games and stuff like that. We have Omega Renoff Sapphire with primal forms. We have Pokemon Black and White 2, which is most reminiscent of this. This seems like some kind of DNA splicing, alternate form fusion shenanigans that we saw with Black and White 2. Also, it's a sequel version that is 2 different games. But even with Platinum version, a single sequel version, we had the Giratina's alternate form. And, you know, there's just a lot of changes that we see. So maybe what if happens for other Pokemon that are kind of tied to the game? That the most significance with forms that we see outside the legendaries do belong to Lycanroc for the midday and midnight form. And then I started getting a little crazier on the speculation, because we have this from Necrozma. Necrozma, this was a feature in Korokoro, and apparently has insane significance with Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Also seems to be related to the Ultra Beast in some way, so the Ultra Beast storyline might get a bit more fleshed out. Alternate timeline. The shenanigans for Ultra Moon and Ultra Sun are pretty deep right now, but why would they do a Necrozma feature like that? Like, I thought it was out of place. You know, everyone's caught Necrozma, everyone knows how to catch Necrozma, but it seems like there might be some kind of tie-in. Also, where do we catch Rockruff? 10 Carat Hill. Where do we catch Necrozma? 10 Carat Hill. So I'm wondering if maybe there's like some kind of craziness from Necrozma that like might spill into like Rockruff as it evolves for the alternate forms. You know, if you specifically evolve it at 10 Carat Hill, or maybe there's another way of unlocking the form through items. Like we see in the trailer as well. Like there's so many other things to talk about. When your character kind of like twists the new Z bracelet, I wonder if that's like an Ultra evolution or Ultra move or Ultra something like that that could trigger extra forms or alternate whatever in Pokemon stuff. Also, we do have official art for Solgaleo and Lunala with their new forms, like alternate artwork of the strange new forms, Solgaleo and Lunala. We have the official artwork for it, but we don't know what else it's called. And also, these Pokemon, they have like the full moon phase and like the radiant sun phase. But the weird thing about those alternate forms is that they're only used in like storyline and cutscenes, that you can't trigger them during the game for battle and whatnot. So Solgaleo and Lunala have 2 forms each, which is kind of weird to think about, and these are still unnamed, even though there's official artwork for them. So you guys can use this official artwork how you want. It might come in use for thumbnails or just kind of making fan art or mock designs for the games and whatnot. We have it right here. Like, this is it. You go to it, new light shines on Alola, launching worldwide November 17, 2017. Check back for more details. I was hoping we'd check back after the trailer publishes and get more details. And then I wanted to do like a little bit of a trailer breakdown, but there's not much to break down. So let's go and show you guys the trailer right there. Hopefully that's like in screen pretty well. Cause yeah. So I was looking through this. I'm trying to figure it out because like, what do we got? Also, that's one right there. It's like, yo, why is Lycanroc hopping into the, like, you know, okay, I just said you know a lot, and I probably said like a million times this video. I'm not having the best vocal and grammar clarity throughout all of this. But that's an interesting note, because they are giving Lycanroc Midnight a lot of love. And then we get Lycanroc's midday form inside the trailer. You know, that's a cutscene. That's special animation. There are some shenanigans going on right here, you know, jumping into the sun. That could be form change right there, guys. Like, that could be the teaser in the trailer, because you can look through the trailer frame by frame, and it seems like almost every bit of information is scrubbed. There's nothing hidden inside the trailers, except for maybe this. And I think there is a lot of symbolism in that picture right there. Like, that's pretty amazing. Actually, I'm going to Gyazo screenshot this right now, maybe use it for the thumbnail. Because, like, yeah, and then how dope would it be if you just had Lycanroc's Midnight form jump into the moon like that, and then trigger some kind of form change? Like, this is a special animation, and it has some kind of significance. Also, we see Mimikyu hop out and attack. Like, that's a crazy new twist on Mimikyu right there. Like, we understand the Mimikyu is kind of crazy and weird and cursy and whatnot, but that's kind of it. And then we see Togedemaru, and then we see this Mimikyu. So I'm wondering if it's not necessarily totem Pokemon, but there could be some new stuff going on. And I think the biggest thing to look at with this Pikachu stuff right there, boom. Those are the assistants for the island trials. Now, I was thinking, with all like the land plots and the alternate timeline and the sequel version, that those empty plots of land I've made like 20 bajillion videos on right now, I was thinking they were going to be houses or personalized secret bases, or you can like set up your own, you know, personalized space in one of the towns that you want to live in. I thought that'd be pretty neat if I get to choose to build my own home in a town and kind of like call that place my own. I think everyone's had that, you know, they have their hometown from their home region in theory, like in their heart as a Pokemon trainer, like I would definitely be from Ecruteak City. That'd be like one of the coolest things ever. And comment down below. Leave a like on this video while you're at it if you made it this far. What city you come from or what town in Pokemon you represent, because I thought that'd be pretty cool. But maybe it could be gyms. But then we have Pikachus. And why would there be Pikachus around in this crazy... And why would there be a lady there if this wasn't some kind of trial? Now, I'm wondering if Totem Pokemon are going to be scrapped or if the trials are going to play out a little differently. Because that doesn't look like Totem Togedemaru. That doesn't look like Totem Mimikyu. That's actually like really freaky. And then we go into the Lycanroc form changes, and then we see all this stuff, and yeah. And that's the crazy like, so what if that power unlocks like special Pokemon like Sun and Moon alterations and whatnot? Dang it, like the trailer's so short and you only have a couple of frames to pause the video. Also, you have like rainbow colors, and maybe that has like some kind of special significance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, not 8, so maybe gems. I don't know, but yeah, like that's pretty powerful. And also, it's a black bracelet this time, so maybe Necrozma. I'm not like trying to be like dark in darkness, but it seems like that color scheme, that idea might have some more influence in the region overall, and then extra changes, and then like instead of just like Z Crystal Activate or Mega Stone Tap Go, it's just a full-on burst of insane form change, and this is a little kid with unbelievable amounts of power, so that's gonna be pretty fun to see. I think there's a couple of other things people have noticed, like new styles for hair, new clothing and whatnot, but I think that's the biggest one, is the Lycanroc form, and then all this other information that could be pouring in. We have E3, but that's probably going to be like, we're probably going to get all the Core information for E3, and then maybe something else, maybe a Switch announcement, maybe that was just an honest mistake, who knows. There we go, guys. There's still more information for Pokemon Sun and Moon. That's pretty nuts. So if you guys enjoy the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.